"Dad, I love you and you've been a wonderful father." And the last words he would ever say on earth were, "I love you too."
A son shares with the world his last moments with his father, a tribute from one president to another.
To us, his was the brightest of 1,000 points of light.
As the Bush family and the nation mourn the death of our 41st president, words of comfort remind us of an extraordinary man and an extraordinary life.
It was a beautiful end. It was a beautiful beginning. So, Mr. President, mission complete.
So through our tears, let us know the blessings of knowing and loving you, a great and noble man, the best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
The nation says goodbye to the 41st President of the United States, George Herbert Walker Bush.
Today, he was remembered not only for his work in public service, but also his life of love, friendship, faith, and honor. Tonight, he was flown back to Texas for the last time, where there'll be a private service for his family tomorrow. You're taking a live look here now at Ellington Field in Houston, where Special Air Force 41 has just landed.
We are joined now by Fox's Lauren Blanchard in Houston, outside the church, where he will be transported soon. Lauren?
Yeah, good evening, Russ and Sine. Today was a somber day in the nation's capital. Family, friends, all gathered to honor the late President George H.W. Bush. First, we saw for this state funeral, we saw the late president's casket arrive to the National Cathedral, where he was honored by thousands and thousands of people. 3,000 is what we're told. That is how many attendees there were. He laid in state before that in the Capitol for more than 35 hours. Then at this state funeral at the National Cathedral, there were past presidents, as well as the current president, Trump, as well as the First Lady. We heard eulogies, 4 eulogies in total, including one by his son, the 43rd president, George W. Bush, who described what the last moments and the last words on this earth were for his father.
Last Friday, when I was told he had minutes to live, I called him. The guy answered the phone, said I think he can hear you, but he hadn't said anything for most of the day. I said, "Dad, I love you and you've been a wonderful father." And the last words he would ever say on earth were, "I love you too." When the history books are written, they will say that George H.W. Bush was a great president of the United States, a diplomat of unmatched skill, a commander-in-chief of formidable accomplishment, and a gentleman who executed the duties of his office with dignity and honor.
And behind me is St. Martin's Episcopal Church. This is where the late president will lie in repose overnight. In about an hour and a half, it's going to open to the public. Now, think back about 8 months ago when Barbara Bush died. There were about 8,000 to 9,000 people who came to pay their last respects here. Organizers of tonight's event say they are expecting double, if not triple, that number of people to shuffle through essentially overnight before the church closes in the morning for some of those private memorials with just friends and family. Russ, Sine?
Well, Lauren, it certainly was a perfect service today. A lot of tears, but also some laughs. Former Senator Alan Simpson, a friend of his, the senator from Wyoming, talked about what a tremendous personal friend he was.
Yeah, and that is the theme we heard from all of the eulogists today. Simpson was talking about it one time when he was in office. He wasn't doing so great in the polls, and the former president actually took him to Camp David with him in order just to have a photo op that showed the president was supporting this senator who was kind of down on his luck. And we heard that that similar kind of friendship, loyalty, those types of stories, not only from Simpson, but also the former Prime Minister of Canada. Another eulogist is a presidential presidential historian. He talked about the president's record and time as a naval aviator and just life lessons that he had learned from H.W. Bush. Things about, he talked about why he thought he had been given a chance to stay on this earth despite being in a kind of an issue back in the war where he thought he was going to die. So it was a really touching ceremony, a lot of emotion, and now we're going to see some more emotion tonight when the president's body is brought here to Houston.
All right, Lauren Blanchard live for us. Thank you so much for that live report. Well, we've put President George W. Bush's eulogy for his father on our website. If you'd like to watch it in its entirety, you'll find it on fox5atlanta.com as well as on the Fox 5 Atlanta app.
Again, President Bush's body will lie in repose tonight at St. Martin's Episcopal Church. A private funeral service will be held tomorrow, and then President Bush will be buried next to his wife Barbara and daughter Robin at the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum in College Station, Texas.